you Jewish moms all know, Tisha B'Av is almost here, and this week I got an email, a question from a first-time new Jewish mother, and she asked a question which I'm sure that a lot of us are asking, which is, how am I supposed to, have like a meaningful, like really have a connect with Tisha B'Av and have a meaningful Tisha B'Av while, when I'm taking care of kids or, a baby or a bunch of children. So I think that I'm pretty qualified to speak about this because it's been 13 years since I've gone to shul to hear Megillat Eicha or for Tisha B'Av. Since I became a mother 13 years ago, and I feel like I found a way that's worked for me to really successfully connect with Tisha B'Av and the feeling of the day. So I wanted to tell you about some ideas, suggest some ideas which have worked for me. So the first thing is that all of us know, I'm not telling you something new, something you don't know, but fasting is difficult, and especially it's difficult, let's say if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, if you have kids to run after, it's very, very difficult, I'm nursing this year, it's not easy. So basically what I tend to do is I tend to get as much babysitting help as I possibly can. So in my neighborhood, and I think probably, at least in Israel and in all religious neighborhoods, and I hope also abroad, that like teenage girls make Tisha B'Av camps. So basically, your kids are off at like a Tisha B'Av camp having a nice time while you're just like on the sofa fasting and doing whatever you're doing. So I highly recommend that. If you have a younger child, if you have like a baby who you can't send to a camp, I'd recommend to get to try and hire a babysitter, at least for like a few hours of Tisha B'Av. The perfect age actually is 11, to try and find an 11-year-old girl, because she's old enough to help you with a baby, but also she's not so old that she actually needs to fast on Tisha B'Av. So I actually happen to have an 11-year-old daughter, so I'm psyched it's here. Another idea is to trade off with your husband, to ask your husband like for an hour, for 2 hours, to trade off with you, that he'll come back from shul or wherever he is, and that he'll take over the kids, so that you can spend that hour or two like really, really focusing on Tisha B'Av and the meaning of the day. And I want to tell you how to do that, how I find it effective, how I get into the Tisha B'Av spirit. Okay, the first thing that I do, the main thing that I do, is that I read books. I spend like Tisha B'Av is like, I don't fast well, so like I basically spend it like totally like lying down on the sofa with a fan on me, and I read books about the Shoah. So like last year I read an excellent book, the biography of the Klausenberger Rebbe, which I recommend very, very highly, about his whole experience in the Shoah. It's very, very, very powerful and also very inspiring to see how we went through it, but always with this clarity of what's true and like the truth of Torah, the power of Hashem. And I highly, highly recommend that book. 2 years ago I read a book called Go My Son, which also was excellent. It's about a man who had to flee like his family in Poland. All of his family was killed. And he spent the whole war like wandering around the Soviet Union, and it's very, very powerful. So I think that for me it's especially powerful reading these books when I'm fasting, because I find, most of the time, like when I'm not fasting, I feel like kind of powerful. Like I feel like, I'm a mother, and I have JewishMom.com, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and da-da. And then all of a sudden, like you're fasting, and after a few hours of fasting, you are just like totally out of it. Like I'm just like totally powerless and weak and don't have any koach. And it just makes it so clear to me. Like it's just a powerful experience just to realize like that's the reality. Like the way that I feel on a fast day, like the way that I feel like I'm powerful and I'm this and I'm that, that's not the reality. The reality is that the truth is that I'm powerless, and that all the power, like Hashem has all the power. And I think it's especially powerful like reading these accounts of the Shoah, and from the perspective of like total weakness, and reading about the Shoah and just realizing that everything is in Hashem's hands. Okay? Something else I'd recommend is I just bought the new issue of Bina. Bina magazine, and I really enjoy reading Bina magazine, and the new issue is totally dedicated to the 9 days and Tisha B'Av related articles, pretty much. So I've actually bought it, and it's the regular Bina and also like a supplement, so I've actually put it away for Tisha B'Av. And the other thing is just, nowadays you don't have to leave your home to listen to shiurim, to listen to classes about Tisha B'Av. So I highly recommend nale.com, or I'm sure that there's a lot of other sites where you can watch shiurim related to Tisha B'Av, and that's highly recommended. Okay. I usually also listen to Megillat Eicha online. So it's also like anything's possible nowadays with the internet. Something that I focus on every year is something that my teacher, Rabbanit Yemima Mizrahi, reminds us of. She says that what you want to focus on Tisha B'Av is what you don't have and what you have. So what we don't have is clear. Like it's all the suffering of the Galut, all the suffering since the Churban of the Beit Mikdash. I know this past week I've been feeling what we don't have very, very, very powerfully. Very, very much, because just my phone has been ringing off the hook with so many different stories of different surahs from different people and different, like you wouldn't even believe what's going on in our neighborhood and what's going on in the world, but even just in my own neighborhood, different people from my neighborhood. I'm personally involved in at least like 3 sort of emergency situations, like with serious health issues and serious, very, very serious other issues. It's just like, what we don't have, like how much we're suffering in this long and bitter galut. So focusing on Tisha B'Av, what you don't have, and also like all the singles who aren't getting married, all the sick people, all the women who aren't getting pregnant, all the parents, all like the women who are suffering in their marriages, who are suffering as mothers with difficult children. So many tsuras, and so basically Tisha B'Av is the day to focus on that, to focus on the tsuras of this galut. And the next thing is to focus on what you do have. Okay, so what does this mean? So Rabbi Imima, every year she quotes the Nomi Shemer song. Al kol ele shmor na eli hatov al hadvash v'al oketz. So, so, which means God, please watch over everything that I have. Please, God, please guard and watch over everything that I have. Okay? Please watch over my husband, watch over my children, watch over, my community, watch over my home, watch over me. Please keep everybody healthy. Please watch over my parents. Just, please watch over all of Israel, over the whole Jewish, like the worldwide Jewish community, over the whole world. Please, please, please watch over us this year. And I think that, I feel very, very strongly on Tisha B'Av, this sort of yearning for safety and a feeling of just total reliance on God's chesed towards us. Okay? And just a final thing that I tend to focus on Tisha B'Av is we all know that the Beit Mikdash, the Beit Sheni, it was destroyed for only one reason alone, which was sinat chinam, which was baseless hatred between Jews. I recently heard from a very big rabbi that the main issue hurting the Jewish people and threatening the Jewish people nowadays on a spiritual level is hatred between different groups of religious Jews. Okay, it's not necessarily that we hate the Reform Jews, which is also bad, but the main problem now is infighting among Orthodox Jews. Something that not that I'm perfect at this. I strive to be better at this. But let's say you speak Lashon Hara, like you say something bad about your mother-in-law, you say something bad about your friend, you say something bad about your annoying neighbor. So then you did one avera, you did one sin. Okay? If you say something bad about the modern Orthodox, you say something bad about the Haredim, say something bad about Chabadnikim, say something bad about the Litvish, say something bad about the Hasidim, say something bad about the Sephardim, say something bad about the Ashkenazim, on and on and on and on. then you have done an Avera, one Avera of Lashon Hara times a million or times however many members of that community. You've spoken, like in one slip of the tongue, you've spoken Lashon Hara about, I don't know, 500,000 people, you know? So it's so important during, like on Tisha B'Av, I think to think about that and think about the importance of a little bit watching our tongues and watching our attitudes towards fellow religious Jews. Okay, so just to sum up, so I want to bless all of us with a really, really meaningful Tisha B'Av to connect with the meaning of the day. The different ideas that I brought up were the idea of getting babysitting, sending your kids to Tisha B'Av camps, switching off with your husband so you can really focus for like an hour or two on Tisha B'Av, getting a book about the Shoah or maybe about the Chorban, reading Bina, listening to shiurim maybe on la.com or another similar website, and focusing on this idea of what you have and what you don't have, and also the idea of really working on this idea of loving other Jews, and especially sort of speaking better about other groups of religious Jews, more unity in the religious community. But what I want to bless all of us, what I'm really, really praying for is that this Tisha B'Av, that all of us Jewish moms are going to meet for the official JewishMom.com Ima Kids ice cream party on Tisha B'Av. You know where we're going to be? You know where our Tisha B'Av party is going to be this year? It's going to be on Har Habayit, okay, with Mashiach Tzidkenu, Be'ezrat Hashem. So, okay, kol tov and some kol, everybody.